You know, I'm here because I've been to the last, I think, 3 graduations, and not only because Colleen calls me up and says, "Are you coming?" but because it makes me feel so good. Because I work long hours in the juvenile justice system, and this is where I see where it pays off. I mean, I don't work a fraction of the time that Ms. Colleen does, but this lets us know that we're doing the right thing. And I'll tell you the other side of the story, because it was, and I remember like probably 3.5 years ago, Ms. Colleen came to me and was selling this program called Empowered Youth. And you know, we see a lot of people in the system saying what they're going to do, what they're motivated to do, what they hope to do, and it sounded good. She seemed like a nice lady, and so I thought, you know, and she came to me because I have access, obviously, to the juveniles in the juvenile justice system, so we can send them over as part of the probation. And I clearly was not a believer that Miss Colleen would do what she said she was going to do. I mean, you know, you just hear a lot of people, they don't follow through. And the reason why a little bit was because 4 years ago is when I first came over to juvenile. Prior to that, I was working in my office as a prosecutor on homicide cases in the adult court. Now, prosecuting homicides versus prosecuting children are night and day, as you can tell. And you prosecute an adult for murder, then there's no sort of rehabilitation. You don't even think about it. It's all punitive. It's all punishment. How long are you going to be locked up in prison for taking that person's life? Well, obviously it's very, very different in juvenile, but I probably had more of that hardcore prosecutor mentality 4 years ago, or 3.5 years ago when I met Miss Colleen. And we know that children in the juvenile justice system are clearly different from adults in the criminal justice system. Why? I mean, even the Supreme Court this week said that we must treat children differently in the system. And years ago they said that no matter what a kid does, you can never execute a child. Even if they commit murder, that it's a violation of the 8th Amendment, cruel and unusual punishment, so that was thrown out years ago. And then they said that, well, you can't put a child that has sent to the adult court, you can't put them in prison for life unless they commit a murder. So we have adults that are committing armed robberies and they get life in prison, but a child who commits an armed robbery is not going to get life in prison. If you commit a murder, a child can get life in prison. But even this week, the Supreme Court said that, well, even if a child murders someone, that they automatically don't get life in prison. You have to give them the opportunity to have some sort of other out. You can get life in prison, but it's not automatic. Like the laws in Florida right now, if you commit first-degree murder, it's automatic life in prison. So that's out for juveniles. That's not going to happen. And the Supreme Court says that because juveniles, kids, children are different from adults. Now, we know that, but so what's different? Well, they say that children are not as responsible, they're not as mature. Well, that makes sense. Children are more susceptible to negative influence and peer pressure. Well, we know that's true. And that the character of a child is not as well formed and developed as an adult. Well, that's true as well. So I can tell you, after my 4 years and all the time that I've watched this program, I truly am a believer. And what's so wonderful is that you, all of you, graduates here, so you've not only made the juvenile justice system a believer, but you've made a lifetime prosecutor like me more of a believer. And the thing about that is, so you're not only helping out yourself, you're helping out every single boy that will be sent to this program after you. And you think about that. So you're one number, but there will be hundreds, hopefully thousands of boys. Why is that? Because I'm more willing to take a risk after seeing the men that come out of the program. And that's a huge thing to say, because the state attorney's office has the responsibility of not only dispensing justice, but we have to protect the community as well. So, you know, we have this fine line. I always want to take a risk on a child. Sometimes I'm afraid to. But when I see the boys that develop into men under the mentoring of Brother Lyle and Ms. Colleen, I know that we're doing the right thing, and I will continue to take risks as long as I am in juvenile in the state attorney's office. Brother Lyle mentioned we're talking sports. You know, I was a big Heat fan. You know, for years I've been a Heat fan, yeah. So you really can relate with this. And a year ago, you all remember the finals and how we lost to Dallas, and who was blamed for that? Well, LeBron James, really. LeBron James. He didn't hold up. He didn't stand up to what he could do. He didn't reach his potential. And he really, even though he was the MVP that year and the year before, he was at the bottom again. He really was. I mean, he was criticized all year that he'll never be a closer. He's going to choke. He can't stand up to the moment. And so what did he do? Well, he started all over again. And obviously they did it. He did it. And I saw an interview that he did after the finals, and his shirt said, "Earned, not given." You know, and he said, "You know what? I didn't take any shortcuts." He said that during that interview. And I look at all you men here, and you all can say, "Earned, not given." You didn't take any shortcuts. I know it's not easy to complete this program. We send boys all the time, and I know it's not easy. So you have earned that respect, and we are proud of you. Now, what's the thing to do? Is to spread that word, because we know that empowered youth needs to grow, right? Empowered youth is only in the north of Miami. And I have boys that are Homestead, Florida City, South Miami. I can't send them Monday and Wednesday nights. It's just too far. It's not practical. So there's boys that I don't give the opportunity to do this program because it's not practical. That's not fair. So what you have to do is spread the word about what empowered youth has meant to you, what it's done for you. You all will be a brick in that wall that we're building to make empowered youth. And on the other hand, if you go the other way, then you're gonna help that wall to collapse and crumble a little bit more. But so one thing that I do want to say in closing that you know, obviously this, as Brother Lyle said, this is the beginning. You're not expected. This is not the end. It's not like congratulations, goodbye, we won't see you again. This is just the beginning. But also, when you leave here, remember what brought you here. Remember where you were and where you are today. That's a huge, huge leap. And the thing is that's true. Earned, not given. Nothing was given to you, but it can be taken away. So now it's your responsibility to make the right decisions, do the right things, and help others that are out there to make the right decisions and do the right thing. So, you know, from the bottom of my heart, I congratulate you, because, you know, some of you, and I remember, you're Lewis? Yeah, and I saw you when you were in court. And so, you know, and that was like right at the beginning, and, you know, sometimes the boys are hesitant to come, and they don't know till at the very end how much love they're receiving and how much good this program is going to do for you, because God willing, the businesses are going to be successful, and you're going to have a future, whether it's with empowered youth or not. You're going to be successful. You know that because you have people here who love you and who will continue to guide you. So really, I congratulate you. This can't be taken lightly. You know, like Brother Law mentioned, the press is out there to report the murders. The press should be here today and say, look at what these men have accomplished. This is unbelievable. It really, really is. So you take it into your heart and know what you've done, and just keep doing the good work, and we'll just continue to grow.